You say that you experienced the Holy Presence for nearly a full year, that it was a very powerful experience. You even saw colors more vividly. And you say you had an incomprehensible feeling of joy, and your focus was entirely off of yourself. You say you were flooded with His love. Then you say you started to drift into the world again and almost forgot about this presence, except for a great feeling of sadness if you thought of God. You say for 10 years you've tried to find your way back, and you feel that you've had your opportunity and lost it. It is important to understand that one does not lose such an opportunity, that God is always present. It is we who are absent, that God is seeking us more than we are seeking God, that the very purpose of our life is to make that journey, to have that experience. That is why we exist. We are not punished for losing our way, for becoming too distracted. We simply suffer the consequences of disconnecting. But the Holy Scriptures are so clear on this. Return to God and He will return to you, says the letter of James in the New Testament. The parable of the prodigal son is absolutely clear, going as far astray, as far away as imaginable, deep into the mud with the pigs, as Christ says in that metaphor, eating the food of the pigs even to stay alive. And you recall that one brief statement makes all the difference. When he came to himself, when he became conscious of what he had lost, then he set on the way back. He stood up and began walking back. The fact that you have this sadness, this need, that you have this yearning to experience the presence again, is this coming to oneself, this deep knowing of what should be, what must be. And as the prodigal son stands up in his situation, makes an effort of will, a supreme effort even, to begin the journey back with no expectations, assuming he will not be forgiven, will become just one of the servants, or rather ask that he only be such, not even returning to his identity as son, in all humility, in other words, just wanting to be in the Father's house. It is in this humility that we make our way into a deeper connection with God. You might say that you are experiencing something of the dark night of the soul, this sense of abandonment, of complete disconnection. But the teachings on this dark night tell us very clearly that it is about experiencing, discovering another level of faith, a new level of faith, a new experience. We might say even a quantum experience, where all that we thought before changes now, and even in our sense of abandonment, in our darkness, we cling to the certainty that God is. And eventually we come to that light at the end of the tunnel. And what do we discover? That this new quality of faith is the very thing that allows us to experience God in a new way, an even more intimate way than you did in the past. You recall that when you described your experiences of the holy, there was this forgetfulness of self, and perhaps that is a clue. You want to return to that and let go even of your need for God, of your worry, of your sadness, and simply give of yourself, surrender yourself, accept the unacceptable, being this separation. This line from the great Gottfried Graf Durkheim, master teacher, is of ultimate significance, because accepting the unacceptable puts us in a place of serenity, of inner peace, of self-transcendence that sensitizes us to the influence from above, to the inspiration of Holy Spirit. Allow yourself to live this sense of crucifixion, this deep consciousness of how wrong life is without God. And you will find a resurrection of your experience, of your communion with God. Don't turn to the Bible to confirm your fears that it cannot be done, that it's too late, that you've missed your opportunity. Rather, move forward in joyous expectation. Remember this revelation from the Christ that the nature of God is unconditional love, infinite unconditional love. You are loved now, no matter how far you have strayed or lost the way. You are loved and wanted and desired by God right now, just like the father and the prodigal son, who not just receives his son, but is waiting for him on the road, looking for him already. He was looking for him even before the son came to himself. Some of the Holy Fathers say that he had been there all the time, on that road, looking, waiting. So trust that God seeks you, that this past experience is only a prelude to a new experience, that you are strengthened by the deep knowledge of what it is like to live without God internally, and how much you depend on Him, how much you need Him, and live in that need, but not in negative feelings, rather in recognition of total dependence on the mystery and goodness and nearness of God. And as you switch from those worries, that constriction, into that openness and receptivity and faithful waiting, things will begin to happen for you. And you will reconnect. You will be found by grace in a way that goes beyond even the greatest moments you've had in the past. And in that gratitude, you will fly even higher into the heart of God.